So I recently got reminded that Omotoso has been in jail for a while, and I think today there was an appearance. Was it yesterday or whatnot? When they were trying to get acquitted and stuff like that, and so that case was actually postponed. I think to somewhere in November, which is this month, and so I wanted to come back and actually go back to the story because this story was one of the first stories that I actually, when I was coming back to doing apologetics, was one of the first ones that I did. And so this particular story, it reminds me of some of the reasons why channels like mine, which have been out there for a while, or people that have been out there journaling or kind of looking at stories that are happening within the Christian faith, it becomes important for us to continue forecasting for people. Sometimes people forget this question: why has Omotoso been going through his court trial ever since the arrest? I mean, like the arrest happened around about 2017. And so you would be thinking, okay, it's been how many years? 6 years, and he's still not convicted. The court, the case, where is it going? And shouldn't they just release him and think it? So I wanted to remind some of those. But also, I have a biblical application on that. It's the Rich Reality Show with the daily Christian commentary videos. It's the first time over here. Be sure to check out the other videos that are down in the pinned comments. And I'm glad that this video did reach you. Now, let's start first from the arrest. One of the reasons why Omotoso is still in jail, and if you do something like this, it will only land you in jail, and it will actually showcase why maybe you should be in jail. Omotoso, if you can remember back, he was caught trying to flee the country. He got arrested trying to escape. He got arrested trying to run away, basically. That's not good. Yeah, like if they're looking for you, if the police are looking for you, and you are busy trying to run away, what do you think? Okay? And so if you wanted to know why wasn't he given bail and why is he still in police custody, that's one of the reasons. Okay? And do remember that a little bit earlier on, we did hear that there was, in the early parts of this case, there was over 97 charges. Okay? 97 charges over the mandem. Now, for me, and also, there is one particular caveat on top of this case, which I think personally, even at the end of it, I don't see how he will be freed after all this period. Now, remember, he's been in the system right now for 6 years, right? Maybe they might count the period, the 6 years that he served inside, and it might be counted on top. There's still all of that stuff and all. So, Monday might still find himself in thingy, or it might be said that he has served, time served and stuff like that. That would be up to the judge. But there is a charge over those 97 that personally, I don't see how he's getting away with it. I do not. I'm telling you right now, I do believe that Omotoso is one of those people that are going to let, even though his case takes 10 years, okay? Yes, there's nothing special about thinking. I think a lot of people tend to feel like, yeah, Senzo Meiwa, he died when? And his case is still going on right now. So a lot of people will be there thinking, no, South Africa is just being harsh. No, that's the law. That's how the law will do you, okay? And so in his case, red-handed, caught red-handed, there's no doubt about it. But that's number one, okay? Number one, he was caught trying to run away. Now, that alone, as I stated, is a red flag. It's a big one. That's one reason why I think if they're looking for you, better go over there, answer, and see how to resolve your issues with the police. All right? Now, that was point number one, is that he tried to run away. So that's a criminal offense already. So that's number one. Now, if we go over into this particular thing, there was all the cases of forcing himself and all those things and whatnot and stuff like that. Now, that one, it can go either way, right? They can say not enough evidence or whatever it is. They can claim whatever, but there was, if you can remember, within that case, there was over 30 girls There was over 30 girls involved and women in his branch in thingy. And so there's a lot of people to go through right there. There's a lot of testimonies. There's a lot of story outlining of what happened and stuff like that. Now, that's number 2 or 3. Is it 2 or 3? Yeah. So first we said he tried to run away when the police were looking for him. Okay, that was number 1. And then there's this whole thing of forcing himself upon women. And so that the charges might be, they might say maybe not enough evidence, but whatever the charge may be, the one that personally I feel like he cannot run away. Like if you have this question, why is Omotoso still in jail and why is he? So number 1 is reason enough for me. Number 2. Number what? Number 2. Let me show you number 2. Number 2 is right here. Alleged trafficked. Okay, so there's the stories of those women, but there's also trafficking that's now coming into play here. Now, that's the one for me, he's going to get in trouble. That's the one he can't run away. Omotoso is going to jail. I don't see how people are still over there. Yeah, I just don't see it. I don't see how. He is going to jail. Now, let me give you back. Sometimes I get, just like I said earlier on, people tend to forget the stories of what happened and all those type of things. Remember that on top of the witnesses or people that were there or whatnot, people that suffered at the hand of the Mandem and stuff like that, those 30s that were listed there were young kids that had, some of them, I can't remember if they were dead, even stopped going back home. And that's where that trafficking thing comes in. They had stopped going home. They were put under this compound. They had not gone back to their families and so forth. That, for me, that's where that trafficking thing comes in. That one he can't run away from. Because now that there's record. Families haven't seen their kids. There will be evidence for that he had kept kids, even if it was for 1 day. Okay? But according to the story, if you remember, if you don't remember, I will remind you. According to the story from back then, there was a compound whereby they were staying. Now, you might dismiss the stories that came out to say, no, the girls were made to do this, the girls were made to do this. But the fact that there were kids there that were not supposed to be there. And remember, they were stating, oh, some of these girls are this young, and stuff. So for those people that have forgotten, like, when I was looking at this story today, I saw that, let's see if I can open this. I saw that there was people that were over there striking, they were there busy, full army, they were there chanting and all those kind of jazz. And so the thing that I find fascinating about that part that they were over there doing that is that I don't know if they don't remember. That's what I'm going to say. I don't know. Maybe they do. I don't know if they remember this particular part of the charges. Okay. So these were the church members. They were over there. I think News 24 had the thingy, and you can see them there. You can see the church members. They were there. They are there busy thingy. Now, I'm going to repeat. Now, these are the church members, okay? They were the people that were against. On the other side, you can see free team Omotoso. You can see the patches on their back there. And so that part there, these people, do they know about this part? These are things that, of course, if it was there, they wouldn't know about it. But the parents of these kids would be the ones that know because their kids are not home. So it's more complicated than this. I support my man of God, I support my pastor and stuff like that, because there is families that their kids were not going to school. If it was your child, how would you feel? A child just disappears and is not coming back home. How would you feel if that was the case? And so people sometimes choose to be dumb. Like, let's be honest here. You don't know because it's not your child. That's why I stand for God. I don't stand for anybody because I don't know you. You are busy doing funny things. I don't know you. I don't know what you do at night. Stand with the man of God. You're standing with unrighteousness at that point. How do you explain that part, the parts of the stories? There was a video that came out way back when this story actually emerged at first, and there were people that were giving testimonies. I remember one particular girl who was being interviewed near the sea coast, and she was stating some of the state, and one was interviewed next to a park. What do you say about those people? So it's not just your release. Yeah, you see what I like about the court system in certain instances. Okay, there are instances where it doesn't reflect that, but in many instances, what I like about the court system is that the court system sometimes mitigates or it can mimic the judgment of God. God takes his time to make judgment. The same way that the law system will take its time, unveil the evidence, they go through every charge as much time as they have. And remember, they have to deal with other cases while they are dealing with yours. And so that's why time can just pass because there is so many cases. It's not just your case only over there. But if there was kids over there, people were not being allowed to go home. They were in that house of his. That's a big deal. Do you care about that? And so for people that have forgotten, there is those charges. If it was your sister, if it was your cousin, how would you feel? Your sister might have lost 4 or 5 years of going to school while she was there busy being put in a house. So she might have missed years in school for someone to have these people in the house, God knows what for. And so there is that aspect. Let's not be dismissive. Let's not be ignorant. But you know what? Some people, they're like that. For some people, they're just like that. They just don't care. They want what they want. Omotoso probably preached a gospel that they liked listening to. And so they would rather have him deceive their ears than him be locked up in jail for something that didn't affect them. Of course, didn't affect them. They are in their freedom. They want their promotion. They want him to come back and hug them. Omotoso had this thing of hugging people. You remember that video? Mama, hug me. I once made a video about it. And I was like, this is weird. The church is just weird. But sometimes we have to remind people the real reason of why Omotoso is not released is because the charges that he wasn't arrested for shoplifting. He was arrested because trafficking. There were mothers who didn't have their kids. So if you have decided to forget, let us remind you. Let us remind you why that is in the case. Because I've seen a lot of people, even other churches, come up in the middle of this whole thing, free Omotoso. So I'm making this video to remind. There were kids that had not gone home. There were kids that had abandoned school, according to the reports that we got earlier on. How far with that? It's tricky. Please keep. Sometimes it helps to remember. Yes, I know it's been a while. It's been about 6 years right now. Yes, but if these charges affected you, would your mind be different? Would you be thinking different about it? Let me hear what your thoughts are just in the comment section. It's Ricky. Yeah, I'll have a good one.